this is Christy Falk from createwithchristy.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I've been doing these 12 weeks of fall and Halloween projects for the last 6 weeks. This is week number 6. We're halfway there. This week's a fall project, and as you can see, I'm not making a special bag with scoring and all that. This time I'm decorated one of the Santa bags. It's in the holiday catalog, but I've got a lot of tricks to show you and tips. You can see this doily. You're probably wondering where that came from because we don't sell copper doilies, but I'm going to show you how to make a pearlized doily into a copper doily. I'm also going to show you a trick that a demonstrator shared with us on our demonstrator page that Stampin' Up! Started for all demonstrators. And she had this really neat tip on how to get the loopy look without having it fall apart on you. If you ever work metallic thread, sometimes it works really easy the first time you wrap it around your fingers, sometimes it falls apart. So I thought this was a really neat trick, and it worked out really well when I did it today. So let's get started. First, I'll open and show you the stamp set. It's called Falling for Leaves. I used this on my last fall project. It's really pretty set. And then I'm using the dies that go along with it. These are called the Detailed Leaves Thinlits. And I'm going to be using this die here and these two dies also. Okay, first off, I'm going to show you how to turn a pearlized doily into the copper doily. When you see the original side, it's pearlized and it's slippery, but the other side is the matte white side. This is the side you're going to want to turn it into the copper. I'm going to use our bright copper shimmer paint. And the way you do this, I'm going to open this up, take a sponge dauber. Now, this looks like a brand new sponge dauber. And what I did, I actually used it on my project. I made this today, but when you're done using it with shimmer paint, you can hurry up and wash it out with water and use it again on something else. So you don't want to let it dry because it will get hardened and it's hard to get off after that. But I'm going to put the little bit of the paint on here and start pouncing on this. It's actually better to pounce on it, I found out. And also after you've gotten some more paint on it, it ends up squeezing it out. So I'm going to spread it all around. So I found when I just smeared it, it kind of made lines, and I didn't like that look. And now that I've had 2 things of paint put in it, now I'm just kind of squeezing it out as I'm pouncing. So putting a little pressure so I don't have to get any more paint. You just keep doing this. And the nice thing about this silicone mat, when I'm all done with this video, I can take this and put it underneath my faucet in my bathroom, and all the paint will disappear. Okay, that looks pretty good. And it doesn't take too long to dry. It's a little wet right now. Just look how beautiful that looks. Oh, there's one little spot I missed, so I'll just kind of tap on that. And I'm going to put this over to the side and let it dry for a little while. Hurry up and close the shimmer paint up. Okay, so that's how you can use the shimmer paint on our doilies. Now I'm going to take a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch piece of craft cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the large leaf in the center of it. I'm using the Tuxedo Memento Black. Again, I use this one a lot, and I am going to be using Stampin' Blend, so that's the main reason I'm using this here. And as you can see, when it's a big stamp, a lot of times I'll turn it upside down, so that way I can see if I've got it inked up real well or not. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Stampin' Pierce mat quick, because this helps with the photopolymer to stamp a lot nicer. Get this up in the screen for you. Hold that down for a few seconds. There we go. Now I'm going to color it in real quick. I'm using the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blends, the Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Blends, and then just the dark of the Daffodil Stampin' Blend. So what I did, I took the dark Cherry Cobbler and colored in the insides. Now, I learned when I was coloring this today, the Crumb Cake cardstock tends to soak up the Stampin' Blends really quick, and if you push down too hard, it's going to go outside of the lines. So just color it lightly, and it soaks in pretty good. And I'm just going to do all the little spots here, and that's it for the little details inside. Now I'm going to take the light Cherry Cobbler and color it in. Okay, the cherry cobbler's done. Now I'm going to use the dark daffodil, but I'm going to use the blunt end, the one that's a smaller point, and color in all the little scallops around this. And now I'll speed up the film again so you don't have to sit and watch it. Okay, I've got all the scallops colored in. Now I'm going to take the light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to color in all of these middle sections. The tips I'm going to do the dark in the dark, so I'm just going to do the light now. And once again, I'm going to use the blunt tip. Okay, the light pumpkin pie's done. The last of it is going to be with the dark pumpkin pie. And as you probably noticed, I've forgotten a little section of the light pumpkin, but I went ahead and finished that up. I like the way this looks on the crumb cake, and as you notice now, you can actually see some of it lightening up, and you can see the different shades in the cardstock, in the leaf. So now that's all done. Get those out of the way. I'm going to bring my Big Shot in, and also grab the die that I need. And this is the sandwich that I used on all of the dies. Get this in the camera. You take a magnetic platform, standard cutting pad, put the cardstock on there, now the die. Get it centered on here pretty good. That looks good. And put another standard cutting pad on top and run it through the Big Shot. And there's the leaf. Okay, now get the Big Shot out of the way. Okay. And I went ahead and I already die cut these two leaves. This was out of a 2x3 inch piece of Mossy Meadow. And this one is a 4 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch piece of crushed curry. Looks like missed a couple of little pieces in there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set these over to the side for a few minutes. So I'm going to let my doily keep drying some. Oh, there's one more thing we're going to stamp. Go ahead and bring in my piercing mat again. This is a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and it is 3 inches by 3 1/4. And I'm going to take the Thankful stamp from the Falling for Leaves stamp set and stamp it right here in the middle. Hold it down for a little bit. And then take my paper snips. And I'm going to cut both ends like that. So now that's ready to go. Okay, now I'm going to even show you how to stamp this Santa bag. This is how they look when you get them. I'm going to put a scrap piece of paper on here to protect my piercing mat, and you'll understand why here in a minute. I took a piece of, this is like 3 7/8 by 11, just a scrap piece of paper that I had, and folded it in half. And I'm going to put this inside. You may not need it because it didn't look like it went through when I was stamping, but just to make sure that you don't get too much ink and that it soaks through and messes up your other side, this will help protect that. So this is actually 4 inches wide, but I made this a little bit narrower, 3 7/8, so it would fit in not easily. Now I'm going to take this detailed leaf stamp and my Mossy Meadow ink pad. Get it good and inked up. And then I'm going to stamp directly on the bag and hold it down for a few seconds. And I think it works better with the piercing mat on this one too, because you have more leverage that way. And now you can see that it's kind of light. That's the look I was going for. If I really wanted it darker, I could probably use the Stamparatus and stamp on it again, but I wanted the muted look. Got that inked up again. Hold it down for a few seconds. And one thing, I didn't want it to be in perfect line, straight lines. So I'm going to kind of stamp one down here. Whenever you want to do that, kind of do it like a triangle. Hold it down a few more seconds. You just keep doing that till it's covered. So I'll finish this up and be back with you in a minute. Okay, that's it. Get these out of the way. Okay, now it's ready to decorate. So I'll take this out. You notice there's no ink on there, but I just did that to be safe. If you have a real juicy ink pad, you can tell mine was starting to dry up a little bit. It might soak through and then ruin your other side. So that's all ready to go. So now I'm going to put this together. Bring in my leaves again. And what I'm going to do is take my snail. And I'm going to put it, that kind of gives a neat effect too, doesn't it? On the opposite side, the Stampin' Blend goes completely through the paper. Now I'm kind of doing it in different little places because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leaf and stick it on the back this way. I find it's easier to do it that way. Oops, I'm just putting it on the wrong. There we go. That's the way I want it. And then we'll put this one down here. Okay, now my stem isn't showing this time, so that's going to be okay. You can also clip this off if it sticks out too far, but that worked out pretty good on mine. Now I'm going to bring in my doily. It's all dried up now in that amount of time. It didn't take long at all. I'm going to put a little more snail on the back of this, on top of the leaves, so that way it sticks really good on the doily. Okay, that's ready. I'm going to bring my Thankful in, if I can find where I put it. Oh, there we go. I'm going to put some snail on here. And this makes it kind of long, so I'm going to kind of cover up the yellow one a little bit. Now this isn't going to look exactly like my original, but that's okay. There we go. Now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. First, let's go ahead and put the metallic thread on. If you're wondering what this is, these are called thread socks. You can get them at places that sell sewing crafts. And you just cut off a piece the length of that, and that holds this thread on so it doesn't keep falling off. A friend of mine, Susan Smith, who's also a demonstrator, taught me that. I thought that was a very good idea. Okay, here's the trick to make the little loops. You find a glue dot, and you put one end right on the glue dot, just so it's kind of hanging over a little bit. And now you make a loop. Have the loop go on the glue dot. Make another loop. I think I did about 4 or 5 of these. It's a little awkward trying to do it in the video. Here we go. And another loop. I think I'll make this one a little. And see, I'm kind of making them so they're not right on top of each other, kind of making them a little wide. And now I'll do another one. Let's kind of bring this one over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take my paper snips, take that off, take my new pickup tool. I'm using the point end for this one because I think it's a little easier to get that glue dot off than with the flat ones. Now I've got that on there. I know I'm going to want it to come out a different area from where the leaves were. So just kind of put it back here. And there's my little loop. That's easy. Okay, I'll make one more set and I'll speed this up, but you'll be able to see how I'm doing it again as a refresher. Okay, that's it. Now you can see how it looks from the back. So I've got my little metallic there. Wasn't that a lot easier? You can tell I kind of struggled there for a minute because I had that flap getting in my way, but it got easier once I got that extra flap off. Okay, now I'm going to put this on the bag. I'm going to take my Stampin Dimensionals, and if you're nervous about that the metallic paper coming off, thread, kind of cover them up with the dimensional. That'll keep them on even better. And try to keep it behind the big leaf so you can't see them from the other side. So you can see you can't see them. Bring my bag in here. Take off all the paper backing and put it on my bag. Now I'm going to put it down here near the bottom because this ends up getting gathered up here at the top. So if it's too far up, it's going to get kind of smashed. Just kind of put that at the bottom. Fill it up with your candy, and I'm going to fill it up with the candy because you can see I'm putting quite a bit of candy in this. It holds quite a bit. And then you close it up. And that also makes this a little fatter so it doesn't get all torn up either. Now, a trick I've decided to do instead of knotting this, if you make a little loop and then push the loop in through, so it's like 2 loops, and then just tighten it up. If you crochet, it's how you start when you crochet. And that way, and that'll hold it tight. And then when somebody wants to open it, all they have to do is do this and it'll be open again. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. Hope you enjoyed week number 6 of my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. I'll be back next week with a Halloween project. I was hoping to be able to do some more videos this week, but I'm in charge of a crafting retreat this week at my church, so I ran out of time. So hopefully next week I can get some more videos up for you. If you'd like to be notified whenever I post a video to my YouTube channel, please subscribe below, and you'll be notified when I do post a video. If you don't shop with another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love for you to pick me to be your demonstrator. I'm here to help you and inspire your creativity in stamping too. You can order online on my blog at www.createwithchristy.com and clicking Shop Now, or by emailing me at christyfalk@createwithchristy.com. You can follow me on my blog, my Create with Christy Facebook page, and my Pinterest page. I've included the links below in the description of this video, and I've also included all of the dimensions of the paper and stuff so you can make these at home. Well, I hope you enjoyed the project. See you next week.